Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're just joining me for the first time, hi, my name is Angelfish, pronouns they, them, and it is time we revisit an old subject, the sea pals. I made a video about them a long-ass time ago, and I guess 2024 is starting off with retrospectives on Webkinz clones, because I have seen so many videos about just various Webkinz clones within the past couple weeks, and it's very cool to see. But also, every time someone talks about sea pals in those videos, my old video gets referenced, which is kind of funny because it's a bad video now by my standards. In fact, you don't need to go watch it for this video to make sense, and I would highly encourage you not to because the audio quality is so bad because it was made on my old phone, like my old phone back when I first started this channel. It is one of my oldest videos, and it has aged like milk. Oh my god. But since the last time I've talked about Sea Pals, which, quick rundown. These were released at a period of time where so many toy companies were basically throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks in terms of trying to compete with Webkinz. So there were so many different like plushies or toys that came with like online codes that you put into a virtual world. In fact, I recommend you watch, I think, I want to say, there's so many good recommendations. Just search for Webkinz clone retrospectives. You will find so many good videos on them because, like, I can't recommend just one. I can't recommend just one because they cover all of them, and like there were a lot. Period of time, so many. As you can see, scratch off for your secret code. Just a thing, you enter it into its virtual world. In this case, it was like virtual aquarium. You get your own little pet fish kind of thing. You play games. Since the last time I talked about them, it seems a lot of the videos that featured footage from the original website have been relocated, which is good because back when I made that video, they were not on YouTube anymore for some reason. In fact, the only video that I think is still missing is the launch video from Ripley's Aquarium. So if anyone wants to find that or re-upload it, that would be great. But, bottom line, Webkinz clone, mid to late 2000s. That's our rundown. That's our gist. And these guys are finger puppets for some reason. And you could find them mostly at aquarium gift shops. They didn't really show up anywhere else to my knowledge. Except for Tuesday mornings. I did see them at Tuesday mornings a lot, which is a, discount store, I think. Question mark. I don't know what Tuesday morning shtick was. Maybe they were overstock or dead stock. They might have been a dead stock store now that I think about it. I haven't been to one in a very long time. The one nearest to me closed ages ago. But that's beside the point. There were only ever 2 series of these, like I mentioned in the first video of them, making it very easy to go back and collect most of these. In fact, if it weren't for the fact that I seem to have misplaced my sea turtle, I have no idea where he's somewhere in my room. But I have completed Series 1. This is Series 1 in total. There's 10 to collect in Series 1, and then they released... How many more after? Series 2 was a lot smaller. It was dolphin, blue tang, pufferfish, octopus, starfish. So ultimately only 15 to collect in total. 15 pets. That's not a lot over the span of... I think they released them for a period of 2 years and before they pulled the plug on producing any more of them, which is unfortunate. Now, since the last time I talked about them, I have filled in various gaps in my collection, so let's just get into it. Going in order for Series 1, we have the bannerfish. I did have this one in the last video, but for posterity's sake, gotta have it in this one too. This is a newer, better condition one than the one that I featured in my last video. I did feature some of my childhood ones, which... I mean, if you saw the video, you know some of them were in rough shape. The bannerfish that I have from childhood is in better condition, but it doesn't have that little, there's like a little shape a little shaping that it's missing to its face that I don't think it ever had to begin with. And it's also kind of funny because it shows the manufacturing differences on like the eyelids. My childhood one just looks so angry. This one's a little less angry. This one's a little cuter. Um, unless you flip it to this side, manufacturing differences. These were mass produced, but very cute. The anatomy of a sea pal, which we will show you with the pink anemone fish, which I could not find for my last time talking about them, so this is new footage for you all. I do have two of these. I did find my childhood one. The childhood one looks a little bit more like the picture on the back of the box in terms of body shape. Like, that's a little bit more accurate. Again, goes to show mass-produced item, differences in manufacturing from individual to individual. But the anatomy of a sea pal is as follows. Plush fish, little embroidered emblem, quote-unquote. Totally not the Webkinz logo. It's not. It's a little splash, but, it serves the same purpose as the embroidered Webkinz patch did. That's what they're supposed to be. That's how you identify them. That's their little birthmark, if you will. Then they had big ol' glass eyes. I believe they're actually acrylic, but the term that most people call them is glass eyes, even though pretty sure they're not actually glass, although they are quite breakable. In my last video on them, I mentioned a story of how one of my childhood ones lost both of their eyes. They got chucked at the monkey bars by my 4th grade bully, and the eye chips went flying in separate directions. Never did find the second one. But yeah. And then, on the underside of them, a little finger puppet hole, which I apologize for how this looks. Oh god. On most of the fish, it is placed on their pelvic area, and you just put them on like that. For some of these, it's easier for me to put my fingers in. For others, manufacturing differences make it a little bit more difficult. But also, small child hands would probably be better at using that play feature. As useless as it is, again, I think they would have been better just as regular plushies, but that's just me. Also, key detail about sea pals is most of them utilize embroidery. Actually, all of them utilize embroidery in some form. There is no sublimation printing on this entire line. It is all embroidered and sewn details. Not a single bit of it is sublimation printed. So after all these years, the fabric actually still feels really nice if you get them secondhand. Like, this is basically brand new feeling, which is kind of cool. This is where we break going over them in series order to just talk about the elasmobranchs, because very few of the sea pals can be grouped into taxonomic orders, but there is a little bit of a sharks and ray category, or rather rays and shark category, because they released one shark and 2 different rays. The stingray I did have in the last video, and it is a lagoon stingray. It is modeled after that, so it's got a vibrant color with a green belly and green spots, little embroidered patch, and this is probably one of my favorite designs from the entire series. It's just such a nice aesthetic, and I feel like if the rest of the internet knew that the stingray plushie existed, they would be on so many mood boards. So many mood boards would have a lot of sea pals on them if there were still stock pictures on the internet, for one thing, but also just, like, they're all little blorbos, okay? Like, most of them are really cute, and I feel like a lot of y'all would really like these if they came out now. Which is, it's just like an unfortunate thing of, circumstances didn't align for them. I think this one probably does deserve a little hate, though. The manta ray is a little cursed, I'm not gonna lie. For one, it's a dust magnet. Despite the fact that I've gone over them with the lint roller several times, it's no use. They've got glitter from various dolls that are in my collection on them. They've got little bits of chipped tag, which I had to cut them off because the paper part of the tags for most of these has not held up well with age. In fact, it flakes off the waxy bits, so they're a bit of a magnet for that. And then there's also the eye discoloration, which happens to only the ones with blue eye chips, from what I've seen. Cloudy eye syndrome, if you will. Never seen it happen with any of the other eye colors, except for blue. So the ones with blue eyes, yeah, they age weird. They are really nicely stuffed. The tail is very floppy, but it's that face. Like, it's so doofy, I can't help but love it. My camera's freaking out trying to make sense of, like, how bright they are with the contrast of the background, but, like, look at that. That is so derpy. They are very derpy. And then we have the shark. The shark is very cute. The shark looks very angry from this angle. I love them for it. But they're a quintessential little guy. Like, I feel like if this line was released now, and they didn't have to compete with Webkinz, because we all know currently Webkinz are not really producing plushies that are worth competing with, or worth anyone's time for that matter, but that's beside the point. Like, these guys would probably do pretty well, or at least maybe better than they did before, if they didn't have to rely on the online world category and just came out as cute little sea creatures. Like, or other animals. Like, if I could see, like, this is a style of plushie that I feel like people would like. Because it's not quite that, like, big-eyed, glittery Beanie Boo thing where you see one, you've seen them all. But it's also not quite out of that little guy Beanie Baby territory, so I feel like they would do quite well with today's current market. Unfortunately, the company that made them doesn't exist anymore, so there's no, like, marketing representative that we can be like, hey, you should bring these guys back from the dead to, like, see how they do. That's not a thing that's ever going to happen, but, you know, they do have that little guy appeal that a lot of Gen Z currently likes in their plushies, again, except for the manta ray. I don't see a lot of people liking the manta ray. The manta ray is a little scary. The clownfish is very cute. I did not have them for my last video. This is a weird segue. This is not even a segue. I love how the stripes are just pure embroidery. It does make the body shape a little strange, and any loose threads on the embroidery are painfully noticeable, but it is still very nice. I mean, if it were a separate panel of fabric, it probably would have yellowed or dirtied over time, but they're just as bright as ever, which is really nice. And they have the bright yellow eye chips that a lot of the fish have. There's, like, a few different eye color categories that I think the sea pals fall into. There's the yellow eyes, which have some slight variation. I think the angelfish and the clownfish have the exact same shade of yellow, and then the pink anemone fish has a slightly darker, more mustardy yellow, but all in all, it's still kind of like, you know, these are the ones that have yellow eyes, and then there's the ones that have blue eyes, and then there's the ones that have white eyes, and then there's one that has, I think the stingray is the only one with green eye chips, but, no, wait, no, the turtle has brown. The turtle has brown eyes. The seahorse is the other one that shares the brown eye chip with the sea turtle, and I love how deep this eye color is. Like, it's so staring into the void and so glossy and big. I love this shade of brown, and it doesn't get used on a lot of toys very often, so it was nice to see it. I like that this eye color exists. I wish that Rainbow High would have, like, this is off topic completely, but, like, Rainbow High dolls, you know how they have that eye chip? They never made an eye color this dark, and, like, it's so pretty. I wish more companies would do something like that, but, you know, the seahorse has its placement down here on its tummy, and because it is basically just a tube, it is a lot easier to use the seahorse as a finger puppet than some of the other ones. This is a cursed image, and I apologize to everybody for it. But that's kind of just their gimmick outside of being online, like, virtual pet things. I forget that the surgeonfish category technically is a thing too, because, like, there's 2 surgeonfish, and then there's 2 clownfish types, because, like, I already showed the anemone fish and whatnot, but these are the 2 surgeonfish species. They never did a regal blue tang, which would be Dory, but they did do 2 relatives of that species, being the powdered blue tang and the purple tang, which technically are cousins to each other. They're not, like, in the same grouping taxonomically, but I don't have the time to get into fish taxonomy. Nobody wants to hear that. Similar body shape. I definitely like the purple tang's body shape just a little bit more. It's very accurate to the actual fish that they're based off of. This one's a little bit more cheapified. I love the color palette on both of them. The blue tang, the powdered blue tang uses the white eye chip, which ages okay. It's just very cartoony, kind of soulless, kind of angry looking, kind of bitchy almost. And then the blue eye chip is the one that ages poorly for some reason. Like, you can see that discoloration there. I don't know what it is with the blue eye chip. That's a problem that I've noticed with all of the ones with blue eyes that I have. Like, they just don't age right. They just don't age right. We have the blue lobster, who I did not have last time. And this is another one of those, like, if the internet knew he existed thoroughly, I think they would love him, because he's just a little guy, and he's a little sad looking, and we love him. This specific little blorbo I have nicknamed Luigi. He is Luigi the lobster. He sits on my bookshelf. I love him to bits. He's adorable. He's just everything to me. I love him. He's such a nice shape. He's unique. He's a vibrant color. He's soft. I love the way that they did the segmentation on him. Like, it's just so nice. Like, he's such a nice shape. I wish that Sea Pals would have lasted forever, because there's so many sea creatures I feel like they would have made, because a lot of the sea creatures that they did make, a lot of the fish that they made, are not ones that typically get plush toys. Like, there's no powdered blue tang plushies aside from the one that they made. There's no blue lobster plushies aside from the one that they made. I mean, there's other lobster plushies, but even then, it's still, like, not super common. Really, the only common, quote-unquote, sea creatures that they've made are the shark and, like, the clownfish. Because most collections, when they make sea creatures, will do, like, let's put a clownfish because Finding Nemo, let's put a shark because Jaws, let's put a seahorse because people like seahorses. And if you're lucky, they'll do a pufferfish. But those are, like, the quintessential 4, and I should have saved the pufferfish till the end. This is also a new one that I wasn't able to find for the longest time. Series 2 pufferfish. We'll segue to them in a minute, but you get the point. Like, Sea Pals was doing sea creatures that not a lot of companies would touch for other collections. Like, there's not many with these specific species out there, which I think made them unique, and I would have loved to see where they were going. Like, I mentioned it in the original video, but there's an image lost to time that featured the Series 1 lineup with 3 additional fish that we never saw released, and those 3 fish were the clown triggerfish, the Picasso triggerfish, and the emperor angelfish. I know they exist because I have seen that image before, and I even printed it out at one point as a child. It's gotta be out there somewhere, but, like, this line was touching sea creatures that no other company would, and I appreciate them for that as a sea creature obsessed autistic person. Anyway, pufferfish time. They came out with this little deflated pufferfish. Like, this is what a pufferfish looks like when they are not stressed out, and I like that they did that because it's a unique shape. They're very cute. I love that they embroidered all the little spots on them. They're very soft, and they have this golden eye color that's kind of bronzy and iridescent, and I love it. It's so pretty. This one's probably my favorite design of all of the tropical fish that they released. And I wish that this line could have gone on forever. as much as I harp on it for being a Webkinz clone, it's just such a, like, this is a thing where it's like, I was a child at the right time, but also to, like, enjoy them as a kid, but also, like, I kind of wish I was an adult when these came out so that I could have bought them all at the same time. I know, it's a complicated sentiment. Anyway, that's all of the ones that I have now. I'm only missing 3 more, which is sort of bittersweet. Like, we're reaching the end of our collection journey with the Sea Pals. It has taken me years to get all of the ones that I've gotten. I need somebody to list that starfish. I need somebody to list that octopus. I need somebody to list that dolphin so I can finally have the complete set. But after that, there's no more. I don't know, like, what other sea creatures I would have wanted them to see because there's so many out there. Like, literally an ocean full that we could have gotten if these had done well. And I feel like it was just, like, a wrong time for them. The wrong time for them because of the rush of Webkinz clones. So many options, none that could really compete effectively. And then also, the wrong company to do it. As much as I love the quality of them, and Rustberry plushies are usually very good quality, it's just kind of like, they were one of the last things put out by a company going under, so they never got the focus or the love that they needed from that company either, beyond the design team, which is kind of sad, but, I'm glad that they exist. And they're a nice little footnote in the journey of Webkinz clones on there, because compared to other Webkinz clones, these are a little bit more unique in terms of the actual plushies. We're not talking about the website, because the website was boring as fuck, and I think we can all admit that. It was painful and sad, and not what it could have been, and I think everybody, even the design team, probably knew that. And that's due to other reasons that just come from where the company was at the time. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. This has been a fun look back and update to my Sea Pals collection. I hope you all have enjoyed it. This nicer, newer footage should be better if anyone decides to make another retrospective on Webkinz clones. If you want, you're more than welcome to. Like, full permission, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only person on the internet that cares enough about these guys to actively post a video of them still that is just purely dedicated to them. But that is all the time I have for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know which one was your favorite in the comments below. Do you think they would have done better as just regular plushies? Do you think they would do better in today's current market if they didn't have to compete with Webkinz? Let me know in the comments below. And with that, I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.